Hello, Mr. 411. How's it going?
Man, it's going great. It's going great. Zach, how about yourself?
Just as you said, it is going great. I'm truly blessed. I hope everyone out there watching is blessed too.
That's right. Too blessed to be stressed and all that mess. But yeah, so we got it, man. We under control here. All right, everybody, welcome to the show. Today is Tuesday, November the 1st. The year is 2022. He is Zach. I'm Mr. 411. We are the Sportz Brothas. Today, we're going to get an answer to the question, what is N.L.I? We'll also talk about the NFL Week 8 and a lot of things going on there. And a lot of trades have happened too. And we'll also bring in our NBA expert, the NBA analyst, Rod, to help cover week 2 of the NBA and all the news that comes with that, because there's a lot going on. So there's a lot happening today. But Zach, you already know the drill, man. Are you ready?
Of course I am there, Pastor Troy. We ready.
Zach, are you ready?
We ready.
All right, Sportz Brothas, here we go.
All right there. Let's get to it. I'm excited about the guest we have today.
Yeah, man. Me too, man. And no need to guess about the guests that we're going to have on today. But yeah, man, that beat goes hard. The intro, Sports Brother intro, it goes hard. We are hardcore. But before we get into the hardcore stuff for today, please do the following.
Still looks good when you play that. And I still see that little smile you have every time it goes up.
Exactly. That's right. We got to get those numbers up, up, up. But we appreciate everybody that hit the like button, that watched the show, that subscribed, that hit the notifications, do all that good stuff. We appreciate that. All right, Zach, we're going to talk about it. What is N.L.I? But in order to get the answers, man, we have to get a little help. And so let's see if we can do that. Let's see if we can get a lifeline out there. See if we can get a little help, and we'll find out what N.L.I is. Well, somebody's at the door, Zach.
I wonder who it is.
Well, this gentleman, man, he's originally from New York. He also lived in the great state of Georgia as well. He now resides in Florida, and he is the assistant track and field director at IMG Academy in Bradenton, Florida. Let's bring on our guest for today, Lamont Thomas. All right, let's hold their phone. Come on, everybody. All right, they getting out of hand now.
Hello,
LT.
Mr. Thomas.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. Zach, Mr. 411, how you doing tonight?
Doing well,
excellent.
sir.
Excellent. Glad to have you on, my man.
Thank you.
Yes. So, we just gave a little bit of an introduction, about yourself. But we'll let you go ahead and tell the sports world about yourself.
Okay. I'm the assistant director of track and field and cross country here at IMG Academy, as well as the director of camp. I've been here since 2015. And prior to being here, I was coaching at Jones County High School in Gray, Georgia. So I was sprints, hurdles, and jumps coach there, as well as owning my own accounting firm, LTW and Associates. I've coached at the college, high school, and youth level, and I just enjoy sports. Thank you for having me.
Oh, thank you for being here, sir.
Yeah, well stated. All right. Well, let's jump right into that big question, man. Well, no, you know what? Let's hold that for just a second. What is IMG Academy?
IMG Academy it's a high school. So IMG stands for International Management Group. A sports entertainment company purchased us back in 1987. The name of that company was IMG, so we became IMG Academy.
That was excellent, excellent, excellent. All right. Okay. Well, IMG Academy. I mean, I'm certain they have multiple sports. I know you're over the, the track and field, cross country, side of things. I know that they have basketball. There's a lot of players that have come through there, like excellent players, 5-tool professional level players, and the same for football. So, man, you have to really be on it, man, to get there, man. What was it like for you to, when you got the call saying, "Hey, welcome to IMG"?
Well, it was an interesting process. I got a call back in 2014 about coming to IMG. I had never heard of IMG at that time. I got a call from one of my college teammates and said this would be a great place. I said, no, thank you. I'm not interested. I'm happy right here in little old great Georgia. And so he called me back a year later and said, hey, man, we haven't seen each other in a while. Why don't you at least come down for a visit? Nah, I'm good. So I started talking to some of the coaches that I worked with at Jones County. And they were like, well, what's the name of the school? I was like, MGI, IBM. It's a sports high school down in Florida. And he said, well, what city is it in? I said, it's near some place called Sarasota. He said, IMG? I was like, yeah, that's it. He said, oh, no, you got to go.
Yeah.
You got to go.
Yeah.
I said,
wow.
I'm comfortable here.
Yeah.
Well, when I came and visited and interviewed, I was just like, wow, this place is special. So
yeah,
I've been here ever since.
Well, congratulations, LT, for that. And man, we're gonna jump into some things here. We'll start off with, what does N.L.I stand for?
So N.L.I is a national letter of intent. So when a 4-year institution wants to offer you an athletic aid scholarship, they send you a national letter of intent, which is a binding contract between you and that collegiate institution, agreeing that they'll pay for your part of your education or all of your education for 1 year if you commit to coming to school there.
Wow. Okay. Zach, you got anything?
Sure. How come y'all don't send all y'all athletes to the University of Georgia?
Well,
just playing. Just playing. I'm a huge fan of UGA, and y'all have had quite a few athletes go there. I know we can't get all of you guys. Would love to. Yeah, y'all are in high demand. Well, definitely.
You got to understand that a lot of kids end up going home.
Okay.
So they end up going back to may end up going back to where they came from, so that they can compete in front of their home crowd, and their friends and family. So mom and dad, brothers and sisters can come out and support them. And you know how it is. The school has to fit. The school has to fit you. My daughters went to schools and places that I didn't expect. So it was, whatever fit.
Yes, sir.
So actually, a real question. I know. I know a lot of times. I think a lot of the high school coaches, across the country, don't like you guys.
Mm-hmm.
Or I shouldn't say don't like you guys. You guys get a lot of the top athletes from across the country at some of the best high school. What's the advantage of going to the IMG Academy versus going to wherever you're going at in your state? Because as I said, you guys get a lot of the top Georgia recruits. I know for football, probably for basketball too, and I know that's the case across the country.
Okay. I can speak on behalf of track, football, well, primarily most of the sports here. So you may be the best athlete on your high school team. And sometimes when you're the best athlete, you don't go hard. You go just enough to get through practice because you don't have to push yourself too hard. You know that you have to give everything if you want to make it to that next level. And in order to do that, you need to go up against better competition at practice and at games. I believe in the philosophy of iron sharpens iron. So if all of a sudden you're the best athlete, I'll use track, for example. If you're running a 10-7, okay, and the
I'm used to
closest
that.
guy on your team is running 11-6, you're not working too hard to practice. You know you're on a relay team. You know you're going to run the 100 to 200 at every track meet. You have no worries. Well, now all of a sudden, when you have 6 or 7 guys that are running 10-7, now everyone is putting forth a lot of effort. They're working extremely hard because now they're not training by themselves. And they're able to continue to grow and get better. They're going to get stronger. They're going to get faster. It's the same thing in football. You have an opportunity to work with coaches that have coached in the NFL, NBA, that have gone to the Olympics, that have coached at the college level. We're giving you all of the resources that you need to be great. It's just up to you to take advantage of those opportunities.
Oh, that is good. I would jump in with one more question there, Mr. 411.
Absolutely.
Who do you guys typically compete against, or how do you set up your schedule for your different sports to compete?
We compete against for track. We compete against other high schools here in Florida, and then there are times where we'll travel out of state for competitions. So we don't participate in the postseason. So we don't do the playoffs. So we compete in indoor track. So we'll start our competitions in January. I have a club team, and the kids will join the club team and compete under the club umbrella during indoor season. And then outdoor season, when we go into postseason, the state of Florida has given us some flexibility to go to certain meets within a window of time to allow us to continue to compete before we go into the club season again. So that's how most of the sports are here: football, basketball, baseball. We'll do regular high schools throughout the year for the most part, and then we'll go into a AAU for basketball. We'll do USATF for AAU for track and field, golf and tennis. They do independent. Lacrosse will play high schools, and then they'll do independent. Soccer is independent. Volleyball will do all club. So everyone does their things a little bit differently.
Okay.
Yeah, very good. Oh man, it sounds like it's definitely a concentration on making elite athletes even better. So good job there. Going back to N.L.I, right?
Mm-hmm.
National Letter of Intent. When they sign the contract, is it a binding contract, or in other words, is it a wrap once they sign it?
Yes and no.
Okay.
So it is a binding contract, but I have seen situations where colleges have released athletes from their N.L.I. So if the college does not release you from the N.L.I. and you decide to go to a different school, you'll have to sit out for a year. You can't play any sports, you can't practice, you can't do anything until that contract is up, which is a year. So, but to answer your question, yes, it's a binding contract.
All right. Okay. Are there any, people, any athletes that you can name? Not now, not what's coming up now, because I don't know if I don't want you to get in any trouble or anything, but going in the past, can you give any good examples of, some students that signed those NLIs?
Ooh, there's so many names running through my head right now. It's difficult. Yeah, we have.
Nope.
I don't know. Right now, I think I have 3 or 4 kids at Georgia.
Wow.
That's what I'm talking about.
Say again?
I said that's what I'm talking about. Keep up the good work.
We have 3 or 4 football players at Georgia right now. We have a lot of kids that go and do one and done.
Mm-hmm.
We've had a few go to Duke, North Carolina, Kentucky, Florida State, Florida. So people try and come here to get better opportunities. And a lot of us have a lot of resources and connections to college coaches because we've either competed at the college level or we may have coached at the college level. And so people call us and say, hey, I'm interested in the athletes.
Yeah.
Yes, they do call y'all. Most definitely.
Yeah. Yeah. And what's up, Marcus Wyndham? He says, what up, fellas?
What's good, Wyndham? How you doing, brother?
We thank Marcus for tuning in.
Okay.
All right.
I'll give you a question. I know this isn't always the fun thing, but you guys are actually an academic institution also. What would you say about the education that a individual gets there at IMG?
It's a pretty rigorous academic schedule. So for instance, I'll refer to track because I'm responsible for track. So one of my kids is the Harvard Book Club winner.
Okay.
So they give that out to only juniors in high school. And they only give out a limited number across the United States. And so one of my kids on my team is the Harvard Book Club winner. Now they're going to check the rigor of the academic requirements of the school, as well as that individual's grades. So our kids go to school 7:30 in the morning until 11:40 in the afternoon, and they only take NCAA eligibility required courses, core courses. So there are no electives. So I had a conversation with the coach and he said, well, your kids are only going to school half a day. And I said, well, your kids are only going to school half a day. I said, you're counting PE.
Right. Okay.
You're counting lunch. Okay. You're counting study hall. I said, we don't count those. I said, your school starts at 8:40 and you're done by 2:20. I said, we start at 7:30 and we're done by 11:40. And if I want to add in lunch, I said, we have PE every day. We have health class every day, whether it's weights, nutrition, mental, leadership, vision. There's something that kids have to do. And we have study hall every day, 6:30 to 8. So from an academic standpoint, we have a lot of kids that go to Ivy League and tier 1 schools such as Duke, North Carolina, Virginia, Boston University. So we send a lot of kids away to school from an academic perspective as well.
And I just want to say for me, I've known about the institution for a while, but you just taught me something there that I wouldn't have thought that you guys send a lot of people to Ivy League schools, but that is, I can see why you're so big now. That is really great.
Yeah, that helps us a lot. Not to mention our student to teacher ratio is 15-1.
Okay.
So
good information.
You're not in a situation where you don't know your teacher, you can't ask questions, and where you can hide behind someone else. Oh, get the notes for me. No, everyone is required to be in class, in a physical classroom, and be able to interact with their teachers. So it's a great opportunity to learn and get questions answered.
Man, you know what? That's very good information. You know, it feels like college. It really feels like they're getting a head start to college life.
Pretty much. I mean, their schedule is pretty much set up like that. So their classes are Monday, Wednesday, and then A-week Friday, Tuesday, Thursday, B-week Friday. So the classes you have Monday and Wednesday, Tuesday and Thursday, and then whether it's A-week or B-week, it'll be that Monday, Wednesday class or Tuesday, Thursday class.
Wow, very good. All right. Well, if there was anyone, any parents out there that are interested in getting their child or their kids over to IMG, how would they do that?
Apply. Go to imgacademy.com.
I'm guessing if IMG, pretty sure IMG gets you if they want you, correct? Like,
well, no. See, people have this misconception about IMG as it relates to it's this elite high school where only really good athletes come here. That's not the case at all.
Okay.
Now, the media does a really good job of marketing us and putting us out there, and we're trying to compete at a high level. Ultimately, at the end of the day, we try and get everyone in the mindset to be successful. whether it's in the classroom, in life, on the field, on the court, on the track. Okay. And so you don't have to be a good athlete. You just have to want to put forth a lot of effort. Okay. If you want to put forth the effort and you are willing to learn and try, come on, we want you.
Wow.
All right.
All right. Is there an age limitation?
For track and field?
For any of
yes. So for track and field, from a camp perspective, 12 to 19 years old. With the academy, we have 6th grade, 6th, 7th, and 8th grade in middle school, and then high school and post grad.
Wow.
I didn't know that. I thought it was high school and above. So once again, good information.
So we have 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th, and 1 year post grad only. So if you graduated 2-3 years ago, sorry for you.
There it is.
You have to be a recent high school grad.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and this is kind of strictly for me. Why would a post grad go there?
Okay, so if someone didn't get the opportunity they felt that they should have gotten, or they didn't get the looks, or they didn't get the attention that they felt they should have gotten, some people take another opportunity to compete against college students.
Okay.
To try and prove that they can play at that level and hopefully get an offer.
So would it be kind of like if someone was going to do JUCO for a year? Is it similar to that?
It is similar to that without losing a year of eligibility.
Oh, nice.
Oh, that's a nice step there.
Because once you go to JUCO and you start playing football, now you're playing college ball.
Yes.
So with us, we're playing. Our post grads will compete against other post grads. Okay, and some sports like lacrosse, for example, it's looked at as a sport where a lot of kids do a post grad year. They go to a prep school for a year, continue to develop, get stronger, get faster, and then go off to college. That's been something that's been the norm from a lacrosse perspective for years. And so other sports just started to add on post-grad to their program as well.
All right. I mean, this is, as I said, whole bunch of things I did not know about IMG. I'm probably more interested in Mr. 401 because play football in college and, of course, follow all of the recruiting that goes on. And you guys come up quite often for the University of Georgia with this stuff. So good to know. Thank you.
Indeed. And another reason people come here, they know that they'll get more opportunities to get recruited because more coaches are going to come here to look at our athletes than anywhere else. So they say, hey, let me take a shot. Go to IMG. Hopefully I'll get noticed.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a nice little bucket to go see. I mean, I know there's certain periods during the off season for college basketball, and a lot of those coaches, they'll pile into a tournament, whenever that week is that they can, or that time frame where they can get out there and recruit. Or actually watch the players. They'll all pile in, to a tournament so they can see all these players housed in one gym. So it's a similar type of thing. It looks like there where you just show up at IMG and then you can take a look at all the available prospects.
Yeah. 99.9% of the students here are athletes in a particular sport.
Right.
Okay. Typically, if you go to school here and you're not an athlete, you may have a sibling that is in a sport.
Okay.
Okay. And it's very rare for an individual to play more than one sport here. You come in and your focus is that sport. We have a few this year, a few athletes that are playing football. I have 4 athletes that are playing football that will be coming over to track and field in December. So I'm looking forward to that. Should be exciting.
All right, very good. Carbon Q, we definitely appreciate you checking in, stopping by, showing some love. Carbon Q, what's up?
Yes, thank you.
All right, well, I think LT, you answered a lot of the questions that we had and a lot of the viewers had. And before we let you get out of here, we are going to talk NFL today. So before we talk NFL and before you get out of here, your Steelers, man, they are struggling this year. And man, let everybody know why you're a Steelers fan.
That's a long story, but I'll try and make it quick. So 1974, my dad wasn't a Steelers fan. My mom wasn't a Steelers fan. I just liked football. I played outside. I wanted to play football. So my mother brings home a little box. And in the box, you got the face mask sticking out, shoulder pads in the box, and there was a shirt of some kind inside. She didn't know what it was. She just grabbed something. She handed it to me. I was excited. I opened it up. Helmet, shoulder pads, and a Steelers jersey. I was extremely excited. And then, you got that Mean Joe Green commercial that came out.
Oh, yeah.
Brother, it was over. I've been a fan ever since, and I've always believed in whatever team you start with, that's the team you ride with. So quite a few of my teams are not doing so well this year from a football perspective. So, but hey.
But they have rich history, man. Steelers have rich history, and
Yes,
they tend to bounce back. So, but yeah, we definitely appreciate that story, because everybody has a story, and that was an interesting one of how you became a Steelers fan. And just for you, LT, here's some of your favorite Steelers.
Some of the greats, baby.
Here's some of your favorite Steelers.
That's right.
See Mike Tomlin there, Hines Ward, Troy. You have to say his last name, Palomalo.
I used to get Troy.
Yeah, the great.
The boss.
Oh man,
Mean Joe
look
Green.
at him. You see him. And then number 31 right there. I'm gonna tell you about 31, Donnie Shell.
Mm-hmm. That joke will bring the pain.
Yes, and he went to school with my parents at South Carolina State. Donnie Shell, number 31. Yeah. And then you see the bus. So yeah, man, look, Steelers have a rich history. And we left plenty of them off there.
Absolutely, but way more than that, unfortunately.
Oh yeah, not enough room on the screen for all your Steelers, LT.
And the bus was here not too long ago.
Oh really?
Yeah, we had to link up.
Oh, I bet that was amazing for you, man. Hey, tell the bus I need a couple dollars. Let them know I need a couple. Let them know I need a couple dollars, man.
Yeah, he probably hears that all the time.
But yeah, that had been amazing.
And I would say this, Mr. Thomas, I didn't think you were that much older than me because I'm 48. So I assumed you were a Steeler fan because you kind of were born in that era back when they were really dominating the 70s. But now I can definitely see if you were born a tad before 74, then you definitely the Steelers were prominent then.
Yeah. I mean, I guess back then when you go to buy something from the store, there's not too many teams that they're gonna have in stock.
Right. They're gonna have the good ones in stock.
Steelers, the Cowboys, and one or two other teams. So,
maybe the Dolphins.
I want to say back in the day, growing up, Dolphins, Raiders. The team that is not that team anymore, the Washington team.
Oh yeah.
And of course the Cowboys.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. So I was lucky that that Steelers shirt was in there, and I've been rocking them ever since.
Yes, sir.
Well, hopefully y'all will. Y'all just traded Claypool today, but hopefully they got a plan to rebuild things, and I hope Coach Tomlin sticks around as they go through this phase.
I mean, Canada's not the man for the job for the offense. He's not a bad coach. I don't think he has the experience. He doesn't have the NFL experience that's needed at that level. But that's just my opinion. I coach track, not football.
All right.
I will argue with you over here. He looks like might need a little help.
Oh yeah, he needs some help. Yeah, you need some help.
Yes, sir. All right. Well, we definitely appreciate you being on, LT. We know you have a lot to do, and we definitely want you back.
Oh, most definitely. And
absolutely.
It's okay. It's okay if you don't send anybody to the University of Florida.
No, but actually we don't.
Oh wow.
Wow.
Hey, look, no wonder they're not that good right now.
Oh boy. Oh man. Well, on that note, we need to find out on a future episode of what's going on there. But thank you for being on, LT.
Thank you for having me. I
Yes, sir.
appreciate you.
Thank you for coming on. We appreciate it.
Thank
All
you.
right,
Thank you.
we'll see you. We're going to commercial break, everyone.
All right.
Hi, I'm Latanya. I'm the owner of Heavily Spa Mobile. I've been in this business 19 years plus. If you're in dire need of a massage for achy muscles, back, neck, shoulder, hip, legs, feet, come on down and schedule an appointment with me. You can't go wrong. There's nothing wrong with taking care of you because no one's going to be able to take care of you. I'm located at 2484 Ingleside Avenue, and that's in Building 8, and that's in Macon, Georgia. Again, you can go online to Heavily Spa Mobile to schedule your future appointment, or you can reach out to me at 478-747-9231. I look forward to seeing you soon.
All right. And I just want to say, I just saw some of the football release. I don't understand why they love Ohio State so much.
Where are they ranked, Zach? Give us the breaking news.
Tennessee is 1, Ohio State 2, UGA is 3.
Wow, we definitely have to talk about that on Sunday's episode on Triple Option.
And
of course,
there's 4.
Wow, my goodness.
I mean, it ultimately it doesn't matter. A lot of this will play itself out, but still, I don't think Ohio State has the schedule right now. But a lot of my college teammates will be happy because had a lot of Ohio young men on the team, especially my buddy Jason Walker. So he's probably ecstatic.
All right. Well, we're going to transition into football. And before we do that, Philadelphia versus Houston, we have.
That's what I was about to say. That's World Series.
Yeah, World Series, Philadelphia and Houston. They're going to get at it again here. I'm going to go. Wow, this is tough. I'm not going to make a prediction because I don't know enough about it. But Philly and Houston are going at it. And then also Philly and Houston will be going at it on Thursday on the gridiron.
Well, I already know about the one for Thursday. I can make a little stab at it. Houston should have the advantage. Of course, there's a split right now. Last night got a postpone. I don't know if that was on purpose or accident because of Monday Night Football, but weather pushed the series a day. It'll help both teams, but Houston has the better pitching overall as far as starting pitching. So you would think it would be more of an advantage to them. It might not be a thing for you, but I guess Philadelphia is coming up where they'll have the quote unquote bullpen day where you don't really have a start with, this is a thing that's new for us, but you basically have your bullpen go out there. They pitch an inning or two to get you through a 9-inning game because you don't really have a starter that will be quality enough to get you through it.
All right. Well, with all that said, I'll go with Houston.
Well, I'm pulling for I don't really care either way, but it'd be nice if Dusty Baker could win his first World Series as a manager. I want to say he has one as a player from the Dodgers. I'm going to hope I have that right. That's a long time ago, but like Dusty Baker, it wouldn't be bad. But if Philadelphia did win, it'd be great for the city of Philadelphia. They're big into their sports. They'd really be hitting on all cylinders right now. And while I'm not a big Bryce Harper fan, he's kind of like the LeBron James light in baseball. Mm-hmm. So it would be good for him that he would have kind of matched the hype that he had when he was young and on the cover, I think, Sports Illustrated.
Yeah, absolutely. And, before when all things were going on and some of the local Braves fans were laughing at me, I said, hey, don't forget now, you all playing Philadelphia. And they have a pretty good team. And not you, Zach, but there were some other Braves fans that were making light, and I haven't heard from them since. But
I hate playing your division opponent in the playoff because y'all done played like 12 to 15 times already in the regular
Exactly.
season. There's not really a fear factor there. Look at the Dodgers and Padres.
Yep.
I'd rather stay away from those if you could, but with
It is.
expanded playoffs, it's going to be hard to do. So Philadelphia did that thing where they just hit the hot streak. And what is that? Bases loaded.
Yeah,
That
man.
where
That was my
they had a
game.
thing. A guy goes, he's on that cold streak, and your whole team is just on that cold streak. But then they hit that hot streak, and it carries you through. And that's kind of what's happened for the Phillies so far.
Yes, sir. And what's hot right now, Zach? NFL week number 8. Speaking of hot, the last remaining undefeated teams for year to year is currently right now the Eagles, right? And they are undefeated. And we'll get some scores in here. And there you go. There's a bunch of scores from the Thursday through Monday slate. Monday night, the Bengals were blasted by the Browns. I mean, who saw that coming? And bookending it on the front end, Tampa Bay continued to struggle. And the Ravens went to Tampa and took out the Buccaneers. And, man, I was at this game with Carolina at Atlanta. That was a wild game. And Atlanta now leading the division with that game with first place on the line with the Panthers. The winner was going to have possession of first place, and the Falcons ended up doing that. There was a lot of things on the slate. Anything you want to highlight for week 8?
Well, we'll hit more of it when we get to our review. Just from a Philadelphia standpoint, care less about them being undefeated because they're going to lose a game. That's just kind of how that works in football, as we've seen out once you get past the 72 Dolphins, even if it's in the Super Bowl, they're going to lose a game at some point. That's what we come to expect. But I want to say they went out and got and it just had on my tip of my tongue, the Bears defensive end. They just traded for him this week.
Yeah.
And they're really going all in to try and make a push to win a Super Bowl because they see that the window is open. And I'll highlight the Eagles, highlight Miami, that they both went out and spent a lot of money on wide receivers. And we can throw Seattle in there because I wasn't so sure of it, but Seattle paid DK Metcalf. Philadelphia traded for AJ Brown and then paid him. And of course, Miami paid Tyreek Hill. And those moves have helped all of these teams improve. Whereas you had quarterbacks that really haven't proven themselves yet. And the quarterbacks are not on a big contract, but you bring in a stud at wide receiver, pay that wide receiver the money that would typically go to the quarterback. And it has improved each one of their offenses. So I know we talked about before that teams would end up trading wide receiver, or at least I threw out there that a lot of teams are probably going to trade wide receivers so they don't have to pay that big price tag once they're coming up, say, that last year or two of their contract. But it might be now that teams actually with young quarterbacks, because Chicago traded for Claypool today. I did bring that up to Mr. Lamont. He probably would have been happy about that, but it seems like they're trying to do that light of let us bring in a target to see if we can help our quarterback get better. And maybe that's going to be the new mode going forward. Philadelphia right now has a lot of good pieces they are going for it, but really good team. It's smart of them to try to capitalize on this window that might be open for, say, 2-3 years before you have to pay Jalen Hurts.
Yeah. And look, Zach, I've been talking about this for a while now. The Buffalo Bills needed to do something with their running back position. They just picked up Naheem Hines from the Colts. And you say, who's that? Well, he may not be the greatest back of all time, but he definitely specializes in like return yards and catching the ball out the backfield. So it gives him another weapon out of the backfield. It allows Cook time to develop, the younger brother of the Cook that's in Minnesota. So it gives him time to develop as well. So yeah, teams are going for it. Miami Dolphins, they just picked up a couple of players. Jeff Wilson Jr.
Got
right?
Chubb from got Wilson, yes, which is a good fit because I assume they probably use the same terminology Their head coach McDonald was the OC for San Fran last year, so that should be pretty easy for him to fit in. And then they got Chubb from Denver, defensive end. I'm gonna guess Denver did that just because they didn't want to pay Bradley Chubb, not because they didn't like him as a player.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it'd be hard not to like him. And then the Seahawks, all right? My Seahawks, surprising even me. Another victory, and this will be considered a quality victory. They defeated the Giants. And Geno is still looking impressive, man. But one of the most important things that I noticed is the camaraderie with the team. Here are the two receivers that we talked about earlier in the season. And you just mentioned Metcalf a few minutes ago, but we also talked about Lockett and how Seattle had good receivers. And Geno is actually just really doing his job, man. They all seem to be on a good page. Lockett, even in this interview, he mentioned that, when he dropped the pass or he fumbled the ball, that Geno did what he had to do to get his mind off of that fumble and get back into the game. And then they end up hooking up on a stutter and go.
Yes, they did.
Yeah, and it was really nice. So you know they have timing, camaraderie, and Seattle's doing well. And we'll see where it goes from now. But they're actually leading their division, which I don't think anybody would have thought that.
No.
And so
that's
big time.
What did we talk about? Fighting for first.
Yes.
This might, this, depending on how you want to look at it, like, I'm not all sold on the Ohio State quarterback. I probably like Bryce Young best out of everybody, but Bryce Young is a smaller body. I think he would do well, say, to come to a Seattle that emphasizes running the ball. I guess Pittsburgh probably won't be in for a quarterback, but he doesn't need to go to a team that would be top of the draft, that they need you to be the guy. So maybe Seattle can still get their quarterback of the future somewhere later on in the draft, and then you keep Geno as that bridge guy to go there. Or look, not Chris Winkie. Man, I'm losing name. Look, my future co-host is going to be on me about me and my names. Who was the quarterback for the Ravens when they won the Super Bowl? Not Flacco. One before him. Dilfer.
Oh, Trent Dilfer.
He was on Colin Talking Today, and he said, Colin was looking for a comparison with Geno, and he said Geno reminds him of Hasselbeck. Hasselbeck was kind of a backup in Green Bay. Wasn't really doing much. Came to Seattle. I don't think he was expected to be the starter or anything. And then Dilfer got hurt, and Hasselbeck had put in the work, and he just kind of came on from there. Maybe this is a case where Geno, it's been enough time now that he just kind of hits going forward, and he can be your guy. The other guy would be who was the Raiders quarterback? I think you said played for Rich Gannon. Maybe you can hit on that with Geno, but it was a very impressive win by the Seahawks. And I think going back to Lockett had probably one of his worst games I've seen him have, with the fumble and then with the drop pass. He's typically pretty solid, and he came back. Running back looks nice. I guess your other back is going to be out for the year, right? Like, he's not coming back.
No, he's done. So Walker will be there. Yeah,
that's disappointing, because that would have been a great 1-2 punch with them two. So Seattle does Seattle need anything? They drafted 2 tackles, and Calvin probably hit on that more than anything. If he was really beating home about them taking 2 offensive tackles, but they got two rookie offensive tackles. I want to say they drafted some nice young defensive pieces that are contributing too.
Yeah, Kobe Bryant and some other guys. Yeah.
So do they need anything? And yay for your coach, because he had to go through, I don't want to say a lot of turmoil, but ever since the fumble, and this, I shouldn't say fumble, the interception in the Super Bowl where they didn't give the ball to beast mode.
Yeah.
The defense kind of, I think you had guys like Sherman just chirp a little bit too much and make too much out of that. And then with Russ, wanting to spread his brand and become more of a name, it got away from that team mode that Seattle. I hate to say team mode because they are professionals trying to get their thing, but you know how it is. That Seattle had a culture that is easier to have when you have these undrafted guys or these guys without high expectations versus once guys start becoming Pro Bowlers, All Pros, they got hardware. So I'm actually more excited about this team than I have been in other teams for Seattle in the past because I like seeing this. I think more organizations should try to hit on this type of philosophy instead of kind of like what Green Bay did. We're just going to give Aaron Rodgers $50 million and then the hell with everything else. And you kind of see how that's falling apart.
Yes, sir. And then another quarterback was Russell Wilson. Even though he wasn't a journeyman, he was drafted later on, came along. He was an afterthought. He ended up winning the job in the preseason and having a great situation. And I'll tell you this, Zach, to wrap up Seattle, this crossed my mind, and I'm just going to go ahead and put it out there. But I still like Will Anderson at linebacker. We can see what
you've got to forget that.
So that's what we wanted to be to get that pick. But now, hey, guess what? We may be able to draft elsewhere, get best players available elsewhere, and in a couple of years, maybe a Shedeur Sanders may be available for us. We'll see how that goes. Just remember that.
How about we say this? I'll go by it. Shedeur Sanders will definitely be available for you. How about that?
All right, we'll take them. And guess what, Zach? Before we wrap up NFL, so we can get to NBA, here are some of the guys who had huge games this weekend. It was across the board. We talked a lot about this on the Fantasy Football Show, which you all can catch that on Mondays. You can catch it this upcoming Monday at 6 p.m. And then also after that, it'll be on Tuesdays. But check us out on the Fantasy Football Show. Hit the subscribe button. You won't miss it. But look at all the names there, man. A.J. Brown, Kamara, just to name a few. Hunter Henry, monster game, 32 carries. McCaffrey with a reception, a pass, and rushing touchdown in one game. Jalen Hurts again. Miami's receivers. My goodness, man. It's just Hopkins at receiver, Travis Etienne at the backfield, Jacksonville. It was a lot of monster games this weekend, Zach. And so we'll see what week 9 has, in store for everybody.
Unfortunately, there were a lot of monster games that hurt my fantasy team because my fantasy team didn't have guys having the monster games outside of A.J. Brown, and I had people having monster games against me.
All right. Well, we're going to hit another break here. And ladies and gentlemen, when I tell you that this is going to be a quick break, it's going to be quick. So be ready for the turnaround in just a second. And when we come back, we're going to jump into the NBA for the last 12 minutes or so. All right. We'll be right back.
Look, hey, I like that. That's giving our old one that we got banned for a run for his money.
Hey man, I'm telling you, we're gonna see what happens soon. But check out Lamont E. Thomas, Ash and Smoke Cigars. That's right, Ash and Smoke Cigars. You can catch it. You can call him at 518-61-CIGAR. That's 518-61-CIGAR. Ash and Smoke, infused cigars, gift sets, gift boxes, accessories, and more. So support Lamont E. Thomas, Ash and Smoke Cigars.
Hey, I'm gonna have to do that. See if we can get us a 411 brand of cigar.
There we go.
We can pass out to the guests when they come.
Absolutely. Somebody who was smoked today, man, Steve Nash. He went up in smoke, man, and he's no longer with the Brooklyn Nets.
Nah, he did not.
Well, he's gone. He's no longer there. And that was just today. So we had some breaking news there with Steve Nash fired by the Nets, and they're talking about within the next uh, day or two that Ime Udoka may be on board. What's your thoughts there, Zach?
First, I mean, let's go back to when this happened. When this all started. Who didn't think Nash was going to get fired when Kyrie and KD said, we don't need a coach? Like, that was already, the writing was on the wall that he was going to get fired. And that's why I said he didn't go up in smoke, because he didn't get fired. I believe it was said that it was a mutual agreement between the two. So my guess is Nash gave a little bit of money back because he was just tired of the job. And those two dudes are headaches, man. I wouldn't want to deal with them. Now, this is kind of, once again, looking at the Nets organization, depending on how you want to look at it. I didn't think what happened with Udoka was such a big deal when you're telling me that it was a consensual relationship between him and the young lady. The female or the females, however it was, going with Boston. So it doesn't seem like it's a big deal to me. But technically, if you're the Nets, you're going after somebody that's damaged goods already, and you already have a lot of stuff going on in your organization. Is that a smart choice to make? But from a personal standpoint, I'm happy Udoka gets this opportunity, because for the life of me, I don't understand what happened with Boston.
Well, let's stop right there, Zach, real quick. Okay. In Boston, is a Boston Celtic rule. They're the ones that put this rule in place for however long. I don't know when they first did it, but it's a team rule. And so, other teams, I don't think Udoka is suspended or anything like that.
Why didn't they just suspend him and not say anything about it? Like, why couldn't, kind of like what happens with players a lot of time? Hey, it's an internal issue. We've taken care of blah. Instead, this was like marching him out in front of the firing squad.
Well, maybe because they knew it was coming. Maybe it was going to get leaked out there anyway, and they just want to get in front of it. That would be my guess. But if the Celtics didn't have that rule in place, I think he's still the head coach of Boston, no matter what.
Why is he not fired? Why is he just suspended?
Those are good questions, Zach. Maybe we can talk to Boston and find out.
Yes. Hey, it's a good deal for Udoka, because I don't believe he was coming back as the Celtics head coach. Now,
I find it hard to come back after being suspended for a season. I think, as a head coach.
What's his face for New Orleans got suspended, and to me, that quote unquote was way worse than this. Like ultimately, I don't think basketball players will go get mad at you because you were involved with a woman. Since a lot of them get involved with women.
Yeah, and I agree with you on that. But I don't think it was going to be about the basketball players. I just think about the organization.
That I can see that they put you out there like that, you might have hard feelings.
I would think so, but
they're not even asking for, I think, draft compensation for this either. They're basically like, Boston is like, there's probably something there we don't know, because Boston supposedly, now maybe the terms once this gets further, but Boston is supposedly just letting him go, and it ain't gonna be no anything.
Yeah, it feels like they're washing their hands with it, huh?
Yes, that's why I said all of this seems strange. But take that out of it. This should be good, and you're either, as a Nets organization, you're either going to acquiesce to KD and Kyrie, or you're not. I kind of think this is going to be good for KD, because here's my question to you, and I would have had this. I know our NBA guy couldn't make it
route
today.
Yeah, he's en route.
Well, he's got a few moments, and if he can't make it, then we can pick this up next time.
Yeah,
is Kyrie Irving going to be in the NFL? I'm sorry. Well, he definitely won't be in the NFL next year. Is Kyrie Irving going to be on the NBA roster next year?
I would think so.
You sure his comments ain't gonna make him a poison pill and he ends up being like Kaepernick or something?
That's a good point. But I think he's going to survive that. I think he's going to survive it, and so I think he'll be on the team next year.
Well, all
I
right.
do, but I do think that Udoka, him coming, if this definitely goes through, I think Udoka coaching with the Nets, he will, because he's a defensive minded type person and has the background of the Popovich tree, the Spurs tree. I think this is the element of the team that's missing. Now, does he have the personnel for it? But I don't know that yet. But I do think that the mindset that he brings, and that would lead to them bringing in different type personnel to help out with the front line, because the Nets can score with anybody. Their problem right now is it's too easy to score on the interior against them.
I'd go that partly, but I also think, and I'll wait till we get our NBA person in here.
All right, Rod, what's happening?
What up, Rod?
What's up, man? Had a toothache, man. Had to take care of that, man. I'm all right, man.
Hey, understand? I know. Look, I know how them things can be. I done had a couple of them.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Welcome, Rod.
Yeah, man. So Steve Nash finally got fired. All right, he out talking about it. We've been discussing it. Should have been happened. I'm glad it's finally happened. And I think Udoka's gonna do a fabulous job with the Nets. The Nets, they looking better already.
Is he gonna be able to coexist with a 2 stars?
Absolutely.
So you think Kyrie gonna buy in?
Kyrie has no choice but to buy in because he's in a contract year, and so in my opinion, Kyrie has already bought in. It's just a matter that Steve Nash. It's just a matter that Steve Nash never had a defensive mindset, and you got 2 guys in Kevin Durant that can give you 35 plus every night. You just got to get some stops, and so Udoka's going to bring that. He's going to put the right lineup on the floor. I think he has the pieces to do it. I mean, when you think about the fact that Ben Simmons is a great defender, he hasn't been defending playing under Nash. Nash has turned him into a bad defender. So I think when you bring in Udoka, he's going to unlock Ben Simmons and get him back to that defensive prowess that he's normally been at. And I think that when you put that with what's their center name?
Claxton.
When you put Claxton and Ben Simmons and let them work together, because Claxton's a pretty good shot blocker. So when you put that dynamic together, get Kevin Durant, who isn't a bad defender. If you get those 3 players locked in, the rest is going to fall in place. And I think you can go from being a terrible defensive team to at least above average, and that's enough to go to the finals. With that type of scoring that you have. So, I mean, I think Udoka is going to really turn him around. You just got to give him a little time to get his system acclimated. But yeah, I have little to no doubt that he's going to turn him around.
Well, I hope so. I like Udoka and I like this opportunity, but I think I bite at my wit's end with Kyrie. He done fooled me a whole bunch of times. And go ahead.
Well, I just want to ask you, what has Kyrie done wrong this year? I know they want to make a big deal about his about his reading material, but that's his personal reading material. Hey, I endorsed the book. So
yeah, but the thing is, Rod, you know this, like it's a team environment, and so this would be a big deal if this was the first or the second thing. But there's always some with Kyrie. Like, so tell me this.
To me, I'm the opposite though. I'm the fact that he's done so much worse. I'm like, this is nothing. So what? He like a book.
Well, so do you think there's not going to be anything else with him for the rest of the year?
I mean, if it is, it's going to be minor. I think Kyrie is going to play. I think he's going to hoop. I think he's going to hoop well because he wants that contract, whether it's with Brooklyn or somewhere else. But he wants his money. And I think Udoka is going to give them a goal and let them know the goal is championship. I'm not really worried about Kyrie this year. I think the media is overreacting. about this anti-Semitic. Everything's anti-Semitic, and it's just it's a little overboard. I get some things are insulting, some things, but you can't be so sensitive that, oh my God, just because you read somebody that we think is anti-Semitic or you endorse a book that it's like, come on, man, y'all, you can't control how people think. And I think the NBA and the owner for the Nets, I think them speaking out and tweeting was just them covering their own behind. I don't think they care as much as they act like they do either.
Well, I'll give Kyrie this. He kind of as always, he ain't back down on this, and the NBA ain't looking to suspend him. So the fact that he ain't getting
what you gonna suspend him for?
Well, that's what I'm saying.
That's the point. Like, are we gonna suspend players for the books they like now?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If he's not getting, if he's not getting suspended, then it must not be anything to it. The only thing the NBA gonna end up with is a lawsuit. You gonna suspend me for a book that I like? Seriously? Yeah, like I said,
that's a very slippery slope.
Yeah, if he can't get suspended for it, then it probably isn't as big of a deal as everybody's making it out to be.
I'll say this about Kyrie. I think, Kyrie has his ways. He has his thing, but he's always been him. He hasn't been fake. And so you know what you're getting from Kyrie. Kevin Durant knows what you're getting from Kyrie. And as long as Kyrie is putting up 25 plus a night and he's playing most nights, I think he's going to be fine. The defense is what I've seen on the floor, on the court. The defense has been their downfall. The interior in particular, that's been their downfall. So I like to see what Udoka does strategically and even with personnel, because he knows what type of players he'll need to help smooth that out. So we'll see what type of additions they make. Maybe they look at a Dwight Howard and just bring him in for minimal minutes and have somebody in there that can at least bang a little bit here and there. But we'll see what they do. But the Milwaukee Bucks, they're undefeated. So I think a couple of you guys had them in the finals, and they're looking good without Middleton. So Rod, tell us about the Nets the Bucks real quick.
Man, the Bucks, they looking phenomenal. Giannis is my front runner right now for MVP, along with Dame Lillard. But I mean, but man, the Bucks, they look great. Definitely. I mean, what can you say? I mean, undefeated is undefeated, and I don't really see them losing anytime soon. And I mean, once Middleton comes back, that's just they're gonna go to a whole nother level. So they're locked in. I like the adjustments that they made in the offseason when it comes down to their defensive philosophy. They used to like give up threes, like we're gonna pack the paint. You can shoot as many threes as you want to, but we're gonna protect the paint. Now they've kind of inverted that to where they really run people off the threes now.
Yeah,
and,
that's good.
Which is smart.
Which is smart, but at the same time, they still managed to get back and protect the paint, to a strong degree. So I mean, so now that the defense is even stronger, and I think what really helped them too. Brook Lopez last year, he was in and out the lineup and this, that, and other. Having Brook Lopez back to really anchor the paint to where you can get out on these 3-pointers and not worry about a direct line to the basket. That's really allowed them to really do some ball hawking. And you got to understand that when Middleton comes back, not only are you getting an elite scorer, but you also getting an elite defender. So that defense, that's going to get even better. So yeah, I'm all in on the Bucks. They're playing great ball.
Do you believe in the Jazz? They're 6-2.
No. They're one of those teams. They starting out hot. Like, this is a weird season because the teams that should be good, they're starting out slow. And the teams that should be bad, they're off to the races. And I think probably around mid-December, you're gonna see things start to make sense again in the world. I don't think that obviously the Nets are that bad, and I know the Jazz ain't that good. And so it's gonna work itself out. Look for around mid-December. You're gonna see the Jazz where the Nets at, and the Nets gonna be with the Jazz.
We hope so. And I would say if this keeps up for a few more weeks, look for the Jazz to start selling people off. like it's gonna be 10 cents on the dollar for everybody. Mike Conley, we'll take a bag of chips for him. We gonna give you everybody.
Yeah.
But I think some of the dudes they have like marketing. It's a good opportunity for them because they kind of haven't. I won't say they haven't had a chance, but they haven't performed as they should have.
Yeah.
So they gonna go out there and play hard. Like them kind of the wrong dudes to have.
But you know what too? But you know what? Marketing is good point, Zach, about as far as like, you know, if you want to lose games, you're bringing in guys. But Sexton, I think it was Sexton, and then you got marketing, and marketing playing at center. And that's what I noticed too. He's not playing at the small forward, power forward position. He's playing at center. And it's like he's gaining an advantage early in the season, playing a lot of minutes at center. And so, but we'll see. We'll have to check on Utah again next week. So far they're 2 for 2 in weeks as far as being successful. We're waiting for them to fall off, but we'll see. Speaking of the bench, Philadelphia 76ers, they have decided to move Harris and I believe Maxey to the bench and see if that kind of changes things.
Bench?
Yeah, to see if that changes things. And
hadn't they won a few games?
Yes, they
start out slow, but you know, hey, this is the move that Doc was trying to make to shake things up a little bit. What do y'all have on that? Or what do you have on that, Rod?
Well, what I have on that is, you know, the 76ers, which would I pick them to be better than what they are. They just started out slow. They one of those other teams that like I say, starting out slow, but they're starting to figure it out. It looks like I think they're on a 3-4 game win streak now. And so, you know, I think the lineup shakeup was really about, you know, Harden and Maxey on the floor together, they were kind of clashing.
Okay.
And I think what Doc is doing is, because I don't think Maxey's going to stay on the bench. I think he's going to eventually be back in the starting lineup. But I think for now, he's like, okay, we can't go in the hole while you guys figure it out. So I'm going to get you guys apart, get you guys some minutes by yourself so you can really be who you are. And then I'm going to slowly mold you guys back together into a starting lineup, which I think will actually benefit them in the long run. I mean, I think it's very similar to what I think is going to go on with my Lakers, with Westbrook accepting going to the bench. I think that you know, sometimes when you have 2 ball dominant guys on the floor, it hurts both players. And so I think Philly's gonna you know continue to, you know, trend up, and
okay.
When you got Embiid down there, it's you know, self-explanatory.
Before we talk about the Lakers, and before there's any other teams that Zach may want to bring up, talk about the Warriors. And it looks like the Warriors have hit a little bit of a lull after starting off the season pretty solid.
I think what you're seeing with the Warriors is the importance of Draymond Green. I think in a weird sort of way, somebody's going to have to go to Draymond and say, be Draymond. Because what you're seeing is, you're seeing what happens when you tell Draymond to just be a good team player, pass the ball, and do everything the right way. And this is what you got. Draymond's numbers look better than they have in the past 4 years. Draymond's been scoring double digits regularly. He's been flirting with triple doubles. Draymond has been playing on the court great, but you don't see that energy. You don't see that fight. You don't see that, like, you don't have that dog on the floor anymore. And so it's taking a little bit of that punch, no pun intended, from the team. And so I think in a weird sort of way, you got to reactivate that switch, because at the end of the day, when you step back and you remove Draymond Green from that team, what you have is a bunch of choir boys. And every team needs a dog. Every team needs somebody that will run through that wall for you. And Draymond is it. Draymond is the warrior of the Warriors. And you cannot have him playing this docile type of game because they feed off his energy. And what you're seeing from the Warriors is a lack of energy. They're executing. They're doing everything right. It's just that energy is missing. And so I think Kerr going to have to say, look, Draymond, just let it all hang out. Unleash the beast.
All right, Zach, anything before we go to the Lakers?
Just some of it. That probably has a good bit to do with it. Draymond has to play a certain way. I also think that they have decisions they have to make about some of their older guys, like Draymond and Clay. They getting older. Clay, like every other day, Clay is. It seems like he's making an excuse for his play or whatever, or he's getting all sensitive about something or whatever. And maybe Clay, maybe this is just who he is, and how they put Maxey on the bench. Maybe it's time for Clay to start coming off the bench.
That's a good point. And speaking of benches, right, the Lakers, Russell Westbrook's coming off the bench, and Zach is excited because the Lakers won a game. You know, so
I'm excited because they have a philosophy that they're actually sticking to now.
But yes, they did go with the Russell Westbrook, and this is what happened against the Nuggets, and the Lakers got a solid victory against the Nuggets. And
pop
so,
champagne in the locker room too.
Yeah, major celebration. Well, head coach was crying, all kind of stuff. And so, but congratulations to our Lakers, Rod. Got a victory there. But what do you like about what you're seeing so far?
With the Lakers?
Yeah. Starting Sunday against Nuggets.
Okay. I'll say this. We got a chance. We got a chance to see Westbrook again. That was the real Westbrook. He was able to play freely. I'm glad he embraced his role of coming off the bench, because with him coming off the bench, he actually unlocked other players. That's the best Matt Ryan has shot. That's the best Austin Reeves has shot from the field, because you got Westbrook penetrating and dishing, which is what he's great at, and he's on the floor again with decent shooters versus in that starting lineup with LeBron and with Lonnie Walker. These guys aren't shooters. So when he drives, teams are just backing up off him and packing the paint. And so now when he drives, he's making them pay. And so I think Austin Reeves was, I think he was 3 for 4 from 3. I think Matt Ryan, he hit a couple threes. Russell Westbrook even hit a 3. So, and then I think also what's going to help them even more is the return of Dennis Schroeder, who should be on the mend and should be coming back soon. And people often forget that Dennis Schroeder and Westbrook made the playoffs together in OKC. So they have some chemistry. So if you have Dennis Schroeder and Westbrook together in that second unit, I think the second unit is going to be pretty strong. Now, and I think by him coming out with that energy and doing what he's doing, he's going to put pressure on the first unit to play better. So I think this could be a turning point for the Lakers, and they actually play better. So we will see, but fingers crossed, and hopefully that's the case.
Yeah, well, as the graphic showed, Darvin Ham, he did say that we're gonna do some special things this year. So we still have some more games to go to find out what that special thing is.
Yeah,
just a few.
Listen. The obvious special thing is LeBron passing the GOAT Kareem. So that, but it's not going to taste and be as great if you have a terrible record. So we need to get our wins together and so we can actually celebrate such a monumentous occasion. But you can't be 20 games under 500 and we celebrating stats. So
all right,
let's do it.
Okay. Anything else, Zach, before we wrap it up?
Not much. I'm just glad to hear the expert. He likes to move with Westbrook also.
Oh yeah,
There it is. All right. Great job, Rob. We appreciate you being on.
We do.
Yeah, man. Always.
And soldiering through surgery to get on here. You know, you ain't no Kawhi Leonard. You know that? No,
nah, man. Oh man, we don't. Lord.
No game management for you, Rod.
Don't understand that. And great contract that he got from the Clippers. Lord,
I'm gonna say this right here. As much as LeBron begs for players to play with him, I'm sure that's one guy he glad he didn't get. So
yeah, that worked out well.
Yeah. All right. Well, Rod, we'll see you again next week.
All right. Take it easy.
All right.
Have a good one.
All right. We thank Rod for bringing the insight from the NBA. And we are on Blackjack TV. We thank the Jack for the simulcast. www.blackjacktv.net. All right, man. What a show, man. It was packed with a lot of information, man. A lot of breaking news. A lot of stuff was going on today in the sports world, Zach, and we was able to cover it, my man.
Yes, we were. Great guest today. As I said, I've known about IMG, but learned a lot about them.
Exactly. And we thank Lamont Thomas for being on as well from IMG Academy. And he wants to come back. So you'll see more of Lamont.
That'll be great because once we get to say December, it'll be a lot of signings we can talk about or other stuff.
Exactly. All right. Well, for Zach, I'm Mr. 411. We thank you all for watching, listening, hitting the subscribe button, the like button, everything in between. We thank all our sponsors, and we thank you more than anything.
We thank the College Football Committee for giving Georgia motivation to go beat Tennessee this week. Thank you.
We shall see. We'll talk about that on Sunday, 9:30 a.m. Triple option.
Yes, we will.
All right. Okay. Well, that's it for us, ladies and gentlemen. We gone.
Have a good one.